Hi, I'm Tammy Washington, and I want to talk to you today just about some of the stages of success. Because some of you, I believe, are probably in a position right now where you might be taking the right steps. You are doing the right things. You are following the system that you learn about being successful, but things aren't necessarily happening the way that you thought that they should happen. You might not be getting all the things that you think that you should be getting at this moment in your life. And so what I want you to remember is that there are different stages of success. The first stage is the decision. And so you've already done that, right? You made the decision that life could be different. You made the decision that I can do more, I can be more, I can achieve more, and therefore I'm going to make a change in my life. And you set a goal, and now you're walking towards that goal. Perfect. That's the first step. And then the last step, which is where you can see it in the future. That's the manifestation portion of success. That's when you get the money. That's when you get the relationships. That's when you get the houses, the cars, you get the business that you always wanted. You get the accolades, you get the celebrity, right? But what about that space in between? See, that space in between is the space that I want to talk to you about today, because I call that space the waiting room of your life. And the problem that most of us have with the waiting room is that the waiting room is uncomfortable. The waiting room, we don't know how long we're supposed to be in there. Because when we think about a waiting room, what do we normally think of? A hospital, right? You don't want to be there. You don't know what's going on. You're doing everything that you think that you can do, but really all you're doing is sitting around and waiting, right? And so there are a lot of you right now who you have positive thoughts. You can see in the distance, you can see the long-term goal that, yes, I can make this happen. But right now, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. Or right now, I don't know how I'm going to get people to buy my jewelry. Or I don't know how I'm going to get people to enroll in my program or enroll in my company. You can't figure out why things aren't happening exactly the way that you think that they should happen. You see other people flying past you and you're thinking, well, why are they being so successful, but I can't? It's because every person has their own waiting room. This is what you have to remember. The waiting room is not about waiting. Your waiting room is about becoming. You are becoming the person who can handle the success that you want. And I'm going to tell you, if you look at the people who are extremely successful in life, those people have been through some things, and that's why they can play at the level in which they play. That's why they can make decisions at the level at which they can make, because they've been through some things. And it was during the waiting room of their life that they became the people who can now serve the world in the way that they should. And so for you right now, I want you to get an attitude where I'm not going to be upset about being in the waiting room. I want you to have the attitude that this is my time to become the person I'm supposed to become. Because listen, there are some things in life that you can't learn from reading a book. You can only learn it from experiencing it. And that's what you're doing in your waiting room. So there's two things that you got to focus on when you are waiting for your success. Number one, you got to focus on what it is that you should be learning, what it is that you should be adding to the person that you currently are. Because if you want to truly be successful, you've got to be dedicated. I mean, you've got to be addicted to learning how to be the best at what it is that you do. So you should look at the people who are at the top of your industry and you should say, okay, what do these people do? How do they think? How do they make decisions? That's how I need to learn how to be. And then you start learning different ways of doing that. So I knew that I wanted to be a trainer and a speaker, right? And I looked and I said, okay, well, what do most trainers and speakers do? Most of them have products that they sell. Most of them have really great stage presence. Most of them are funny, right? And so I literally had to learn all of those things. I had to learn how to write a book. I had to learn how to speak and be able to hold the attention of audiences from different cultures. I had to learn those things step by step, class by class, mentor after mentor. And just recently, I finally hired a comedy coach because I was tired of feeling like I really want to be funny on stage, right? So I hired a comedy coach. And the reason I say that is because, listen, I don't care what it is. It may seem like something that's simple. It may seem like something that's stupid. But guess what? If there is something that you need to learn and it'll take you to the next level towards your dream, towards that journey of success, you better do everything that you can to learn it. learn the skills that you need to learn so that you can become the person that you're supposed to become. That's what you do in the waiting room. God forbid you get money and success, or you have a one-shot success type thing, and then you can't handle it because you didn't consistently learn the things that you were supposed to learn. You didn't learn how to handle money. That's why celebrities get a lot of money and they go broke. They learn their skill. They learn how to create the money. They didn't learn how to handle the money. They didn't learn how to invest the money. They didn't learn how to run their skill like a business. And so for a lot of you out there who are trying to move from employee to entrepreneur, you are creative. You have amazing talent, but talent means nothing if you don't know how to run that thing like a business. So in your waiting room, I want you to make a decision that you will learn. So today, make a list of all the areas that you need to learn, all the little things that you want to learn, and just start learning them. Check the list off. And it may take you a year. It may take you 2 years to go through the list, but I guarantee you, little steps, baby steps, people will start to see your progress. And then suddenly you'll start to get opportunities and you don't even know how. And it's because as a person, you have changed. As a person, you are blossoming. As a person, you are becoming something very, very new. So you got to focus on, who do I need to become in the waiting room? Oprah Winfrey didn't just one day become Oprah and sat on a couch. Everything that she had to learn over the years about running a company, about having an amazing television performance, about learning how to be the best at what she does, how to interview, how to make people feel special, how to make people feel like she was speaking directly to them. She had to learn those things. And whatever your business is, whatever it is your dream is, you've got to learn the same thing. The second thing that you got to think about when it comes about your waiting room, because remember, we said you're cultivating yourself into the person who can handle your success. So when you're cultivating, yes, you're adding some things in, but you're also chipping away at the things that don't belong, right? So I want you to start thinking about, what are the things that you need to chip away at in your character? Because if you have bad habits, if you are addicted to television, and yes, I did say addicted, and trust me, I love my shows as much as anybody else. But when you're sitting there looking at television, when you're sitting there being entertained all the time, you've got to remember that those people already have their dreams and their goals. You are looking at people who have manifested their goals and their dreams. And you can either sit there and watch them, or you can go out and you can do the same thing. So what I'm saying is that you've got to learn to monitor it. You can't be addicted to it, right? You got to think about all the things in your character. If you have the habit of not doing what it is that you say that you're going to do, you got to break that habit. That was something I had to break. Overcommitting, saying I can do a million things when you know you can only do 10. You've got to look and say, what is it that I need to chip away in my character so that I can become the person that I need to become. And I'm going to tell you one, I'm going to give you one that I recently had to work on, because it's one that's often overlooked. You've got to chip away at unforgiveness. Listen, I believe this. If you have been given a dream, if you've been given something that piques your interest, if you've been given a way to serve the world and to help others, it is your destiny. You have to take the steps that it takes to do it. You have to make it happen. But you cannot do that if you have unforgiveness in your heart, if you are resentful towards other people. Because let me tell you, when you have a passion, when you have a gift, it's coming from a higher power, right? It's coming from a higher power that comes from above. And if you're getting inspiration and creativity, but it hits your heart and your heart is blocked because you can't let go of something that somebody said to you or something that someone did that hurt you, I'm telling you, you cannot let that inspiration go through you so that you can give it out to the world. And I will also say, if you have trouble forgiving other people, it's probably because you have trouble forgiving yourself. And one of the keys to success is that you've got to learn to fail forward. So if you can't learn to forgive yourself when you fall down or when you make a mistake, whether it's in your business or in your personal life, you are never going to be able to serve the world in the way that you want to be able to serve them. So you have got to learn to let unforgiveness go. So make a list of all the people that you are currently holding grudges against. And Release them. Write a letter, burn it, send it up to God if you want to. If it's somebody that you want to be in contact with, call them. See if you can work out that relationship. If you're like, I'm good, I don't think that this relationship is healthy for me, or this friendship is healthy for me, that's fine. Wish them well. But don't sit in a space of unforgiveness where that hurt and that anger is actually blocking you from what it is that you want to do. And so this is what I want you to know. If you're not getting what it is that you want, you're not seeing the results, don't despise where you are. You are simply in the waiting room of your life. And what you should concentrate on is, okay, I don't have all the success that I want. I don't have all the money that I want. But what I can focus on is that I am becoming every day closer and closer to the person I want to become. And that person, if I can just become that person, I will get all of the other stuff. All the other stuff, that's just icing on the cake. It's about becoming the person that you want to become, because the person that you want to become has no problem achieving the success that you want to see. So it's your waiting room. How will you navigate it? I'm Tammy Washington. And listen, if this helped you, I want you to spread the message. Send this video out to other people, because at the end of the day, you have a gift. The world is waiting for you. So go out and do everything that you can to make that happen. And hey, learn to enjoy your waiting room.